we almost empirify on a daily basis our microlenders talking about the absence of community banks. And there is an example of a convenience store in the Walnut Park neighborhood, exactly what you're talking about, and that is, they opened in the mid-70s. And the proprietor told me that there was a local banker, they had a line of credit and everything was okay. And now she has 12 credit cards, and they're pretty much maxed out, and she has an 800 number to talk to, or she's given a credit card application, and gone is her relationship with a community-based lender that was literally in her neighborhood. And so you were spot on with that. This is a good segue to talk about banks that are making a difference in terms of bankability. Justine Peterson has partnered both with St. Louis Community Credit Union and National City on second chance checking programs. And Jose referenced earlier, and I'd like him to talk a little bit more about a pretty progressive checking account program with National City. We're actually hosting the classes here at Justine Peterson, and there is an opportunity for people to actually open up a checking account with National City, even though they are on check systems. And what is check systems? It's yet another big brother type of operation that's a barrier to people having access to mainstream financial products and services like having a checking account. And so again, as Clifton said, there are so many barriers, and there are so many, there's a void in our neighborhoods. And many people don't have options or opportunities. And today, I'm so excited that we're talking about opportunity. We're talking about taking steps forward. And I really think National City's Second Chance Program, what is the true title of that? Do you have a name for it?
Well, it's called Foundations of Money Management. So, well, now, thank you for the segue. Thank you to all the panelists. My take on this, and we're talking about access to capital. I'm a simple guy. And a lot of the small business owners are same mindset. Again, I was a small business owner myself. The biggest issue with small business owners is cash flow. If you got to worry about those day-to-day expenses, then at the end of either week or in 2 weeks, you got to worry about your payroll. Right? Now, to meet your payroll, you got to increase your revenue. To increase your revenue, you got to have the products in the market to sell your products. Exactly. Now, what's our role at National City, at PNC? Now, I believe, coming from a big bank like Bank America doesn't have a program like this, and I was really surprised that PNC really took the step to reach out to the local community, precisely to the unbanked segment in the market, and that's a big segment, I couldn't quantify that, but we had taken steps to really work out with nonprofit organizations like Justine Peterson to do what we call second chance checking. Internally, we call it Foundations of Money Management. The problem, and I teach this class myself, it's a 2-hour class that if you were in check systems, everybody familiar with check systems? Mm-hmm. Anyone who has not heard check systems? Right. Check systems is an organization that all banks use. Say if you got your first checking account, you overdrew it or didn't pay, for some reason you had fees and you just left it, your name gets into that database. And any account that you open, if your name is in there, sorry, your name is in there, we can't open an account for you. Right. So, bottom line, the program that we have, we override that. The only bank that we don't override is ourselves. So if you all ask me, let's settle. You're gonna settle with us first, and then we can start that again. Right, but it's a great program. Why? Because I find out, and I teach this class. I don't know if I've seen anyone that taught this class too, but you know, I get hives just getting calls from those customers, and they say, "Hey, Jose, that was really wonderful," because what I teach there is 2 basic words that resonate. Hopefully, they learn from it. One, you can't get this in any class. It's called discipline. The main problem with all this credit is discipline. Nobody had the discipline to either monitor the big banks. Nobody had the discipline, like any Tom, Dick, and Harry, to monitor their daily balances. If you look at all our basic problems, basic discipline, whether it's the big corporations or small guys like us. So I teach discipline. Second is education. No matter how much we talk about regulations this, regulations that, bottom line is depending on the market that we're trying to address, you can't talk to the big banks as if, hey, you gotta, address the smaller, guys like these guys, whether they're minority or not, they don't care. They're a business. But what can we do as individuals, as small business owners? One, we gotta work our basics first. That's why our program really works on the basics. Now, mind you, we have our own, corporate policies, strategies, and what have you. But when you go down to the basics, to those people who will need those credit, man, ain't nothing in this world, whether you're a big bank, a small bank, whether you're a small company, an individual, or a big corporation, it all goes down to the basics. Are you disciplined enough to spend that money that we're going to give you? Regardless, whether you're the first time opening an account, opening that small entrepreneurial venture, or you're the GEs of this world. Doesn't matter. It's the same principle. So what do we go back to? Go back to the basics. We talk about action plan. To me, I'm very proud that there's organizations like Justine. In fact, you need to multiply this 100 times. We can go to Congress, rally, and whatever, but I think that we just go back to the grassroots. And the second word I teach, education. Because no matter if you tell them all the guidelines, if they don't know how to do it, they don't know how to balance their checkbooks, there ain't no product out there or a grant or whatever that will work for them. Because it's never going to work. Because they don't even know how to freaking balance a checkbook. Nothing's going to solve that, right?
Right.
So what do? We address the main problem. So if you were to ask me what the basic action plan is, we need to work with the local government, work with those underserved, work with a program that will get them to get educated. Once they're educated, we move them to the next level. How do you teach discipline? You can't teach discipline. Well, yeah, you can, but it starts with the parents. Do we teach the parents? So much you can do when you talk about discipline. Because you gotta have that basic discipline, whether you're starting from a child, all the way from graduation, all the way to your retirement. You gotta have that discipline. So that's something, that's not something that can be regulated or passed through legislation. That's something that's part of culture. You know what I mean? So I'm a practical guy with practical approach.
Coming up on the